Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of Europe, it is an honour and privilege to represent the Honourable Society of the King's Inns here, to represent Ireland, and to speak with my good friend Patrick Wood. Two things in closing out the first half. One, we doubt or will diminish the prop, as in we say reasons why this request may be illegitimate or can be ignored, weakening the reasons that are given in favour of this request by those who requested of us. And secondly, we counter or we weigh it up against reasons why we would also like to stay. In other words, we build up on our side the reasons, positive reasons why we will stay. So the first point is, why should we respect this request? Or should we always respect this request? And this will deal with the first proposition, especially when they say things like, these individuals are best placed to know, they are the best barometer of what's in their own interest. We're going to say absolutely not necessarily, and we'll give you plenty of reasons why. There are, I would say, two. One, they may simply lack the raw material of information to make correct choices, and two, and this will be more lengthy, they may have incorrect or irrational decision-making processes which then process that information they do have, and there will be reasons then to discount what they come up with. So let's go into those. There's a simple information asymmetry that individuals are often labouring under, where they are not actually best placed to decide. They simply lack the information because of, let's say, for instance, non-functioning media, non-functioning civic society institutions, non-functioning political systems. No, thank you. So it's easy to see that there can be lots of reasons why they simply lack raw material to make these decisions. Now, secondly is the decision-making process. There may be illegitimate motives behind the request for us to leave. We see often in these countries we're looking at a tribal culture, one which prizes honour and vigilante justice as opposed to the dispassionate dispensing of essential justice. No, thank you. In other words, individuals know they may well lose a fight if a mediator or peacekeeper leaves, but they would rather settle their own fights and possibly lose, irrationally we say, than have someone mediating. They think that this is the honourable thing to do, it is culturally what they want to do. Secondly, revenge. We say the erstwhile abusers could well become the abused once we leave, if we've altered the power balances. And we owe the original aggressors a duty of care under the universality of human rights to protect their human rights as well, which may be a reason why we have to stay. Also, and this is, say, an illegitimate reason to request people to leave when you may slide back into being abused. You may have just simple distaste for the occupiers. You might say, I need help, but I don't want your help. I call this point the Yankee pig dog infidel point. And it is a reason, for instance, why the Sunnis might not want us in Iraq, for instance, but this could apply anywhere. Even though they may now be abused and we ran straight out of there by the now powerful Shias. So we say, no thank you. American boots on their soil is so distasteful that although they know they need help, they cannot bring themselves to accept this help, even if it's the only help going. In other words, I suppose you could call this the Dark Knight point. We're not the heroes they want, but we are the heroes that they actually need. We say, if you respect, as we demand from Prop 2, the immediacy requirement of this motion, you have to accept that there is a pedagogical analysis on this and POIs, and it hasn't been dealt with yet, that there will be an abnormal discourse in the immediate aftermath of human rights abuse and an occupying and liberating war and an occupying force. It will be an abnormal discourse where rational political considerations will, we would say, be markedly absent. I don't really need to substantiate this because we can pick examples all around the world, from Northern Ireland to the Balkans to Iraq to Afghanistan, to say that it is absolutely the case that wartime footing is different to peacetime, and it's simply not normal, and it creates a bounded rationality which impinges upon individuals' decision-making processes. Facts on the ground can change so quickly that the request for you to leave can be one that those individuals would regret almost instantaneously, it now being too late. The last point, that is my last point on why should we respect these wishes. Secondly, even if we did, or whatever value or weight we give to this request, we have our own reasons for staying there. The first I'm going to mention is that often we have a dual mission. These individuals, even the majority and minority on their double system, aren't the only stakeholders. There can often be regional considerations of stability. For instance, sometimes we intervene because of the pressure that an outflux of refugees is having on surrounding countries, which can be enormously powerful in creating in those surrounding countries big problems, ethnic conflict, actual outbreak of war, etc. We can look to Tanzania, we can also look at the problems that Chad experiences at the moment. But we owe those surrounding and neighbouring countries who don't get a vote under this system a duty of care as well, and their considerations are valid to be factored into our decision-making process. And we often say that those considerations are kind of self-interest point for being in there, as well as desiring to be vulnerable in the actual country, or something, no thank you, that can be counterweighed. No thanks. So, the second point is reignition. We say that if you leave immediately, just because today is the first day that a village has not been torched, that a person has not been gang raped, that there hasn't been a killing, because today is the first day that that hasn't happened, isn't to say that all of the underlying reasons for that and all of the underlying infrastructure necessary and equipment and inventory necessary to reignite conflict isn't still present. And we say it may be the first day, but if you were to believe that this means that therefore there will never be any more conflict, you're sorely mistaken. We need only look around the world at the reignition of conflicts in, for instance, Rwanda to see that this can be the case. This is a council of treating only causes, or sorry, only symptoms and never causes. Now they'll say to us, yes, but soldiers, I expect this, but your mechanism, you haven't shown the mechanism because you're just putting soldiers in there, and how do they possibly help you achieve, I'll take closing in a second, how do you, with soldiers on the ground, actually achieve any address, like how do you address yourself to changing the causes, to changing the political and social problems that they have? We say there's other things we need to do as well, but do not underestimate the powerful effect on resolution, and I'll take you in just a second, so stay standing, I'll take you after mine. The powerful effect that a long, prolonged period of peace has on changing people's perspectives. They may not move from their political stances, but when you take the viscerality of the immediacy out and take it out, then you have the benefit.
So, when do you think the forces should leave the country?
Well, this is the thing. I'll tell you what, that is a decision that needs to be made. We would say that is a decision that needs to be made on a case-by-case basis, factoring in all the circumstances. I can tell you precisely when we don't leave them, which would be immediately after we've managed to stop firefights and rapes, etc. So say that's definitely enough. Okay? So what happens is when you have an extended period of peace and a lapse of time, memories and anger about the conflict, anger at your own family being raped, for instance, anger at your village being torched, the memories of those who have living memories, sometimes just recently died, means that society does move on. We will need other mechanisms, sure, but in terms of just what's within this debate, we say staying and allowing a lapse of time, a creation of peace, is very valuable in terms of aiding resolution, and that's our mechanism we bring to you proudly in opposition.